everyone, it's Rose Dana Ryan for Win News. Our guest today is a voice that resonates with both devotion and artistry. Ben Parag is a celebrated vocalist whose musical journey beautifully bridges his Indo Caribbean roots with the rich traditions of Indian classical and devotional music. His soulful performances have touched audiences worldwide, including a powerful appearance on the international stage of Star Plus Dil Hai Hindustani, where he shared his voice and heart with millions. Whether performing bhajans, Bollywood melodies, or sacred compositions, Ben sings with a purpose and presence. Please help me in welcoming a gifted cultural ambassador. Ladies and gentlemen, the handsome and talented Ben. Hey, Ben, how are
Hello,
you?
Rose. How's it going?
Well, Ben, we've known each other for a while now, so it's so great to connect. How are you? How have you been?
I am good. Apologies beforehand. I just came back from the gym. So,
I guess you have a long day because I saw on your TikTok, this is what I do before I perform. I go to the gym. I
this
love
is
that you're
correct.
sharing. I'm all for working out and go you.
Thank you,
More
Rose.
power
Thank
to
you.
you. So, Ben, we're going
Thank
to
you.
get right into it.
Sure.
How did your musical journey begin?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I'm so glad that it's none other than you because I am a fan of you as much as you might be of me. And
Oh, I'm a big fan of you. Huge.
I love your work, Rose. And I've always loved your work. And I love your integrity. And with that being said, I'm so happy that we're doing this interview together.
It's going to be a
Um,
great one.
so I started in it's actually interesting. I started singing when I was 6 and I picked it up like out of nowhere.
Yeah. Mhm.
And like I hear some people saying I started singing at 1 or 2. Like I literally picked up singing at 6 and my mom was like, "What?" My mom used to sing bhajans and my I come from that bhajan singing family. But no one ever put me into classes. So when I started singing at 6, my mom was like, okay, let's find a guru for him.
Mhm.
And it just so happened that my tenant, who we moved to another home, and my tenant was like, oh, you should go to a guy named Kinerji. And that was at about 8, 9. So my mom finally agreed and was like, okay, let's take him to Kinerji. And that's where I started my classical music training.
So Kenergy and Pyle Singh,
Kin-
they are a husband-wife duo who a lot of the young folks in the community attended their classes. And tell us what it was like being a part of their class and what did you learn about yourself learning music from these maestros?
Man, I think it's funny the way God works. You just meet the right people at the right time. And Kinerji and Payalji, I was actually at the gym today and I was looking at a video of us and I was like, I don't even know how to describe them in my life. The amount of knowledge and music and th- so much more that they've given me in my life. I mean, so much of who I am is because of them. And growing up and learning with him was always like, I would always be intrigued. What's gonna happen next? What's gonna come out of his? He was a man that you, he was very unpredictable, and he was you just kept I kept learning, learning, learning. It never got he there was never something that he would repeat. It was always something new. So it was very interesting for me as a child to learn music from them.
Now, I looked at a previous interview and I noticed, I found out that your mom is a singer, your dad, so is your grandparents. But then you picked up singing at the age of 6, right? And you went on to learn from these maestros, Payalji and Kenerji. Was there a defining moment where you said, singing is what I want to do? Like, how did you realize you were so talented?
To be very honest with you, Rose, I never knew what I wanted to do. I'll be very honest with you. I loved music. I loved singing. I looked forward to going to music class and learning. But it was never in my mind that, okay, you can make something out of this music.
Mm.
And it was one day Kinergy spoke to me, and I was about maybe 17, and Kinergy said, what are you doing with your music? Let's go. Sare Gamapa came to the US. Let's audition for Sare Gamapa. And I looked at him like, are you kidding me?
Mhm.
That's not that. I didn't think that was in the realm of any sort of possibility. And he and I drove to Jersey together, and I sang in front of. Do you know the duo Sajid Wajid?
Of course, yes.
So I sang in front of Sajid Wajid, and I was so nervous those days. I sang Mere Dole Na Sun Mere Pyare Ki. So I sang that, and they immediately said, "Okay, this guy needs to sing in India." And cried, cried. I had this habit that I was just a crier,
Mhm,
Rose. If somebody said you sang well, I would just be an emotional wreck.
mhm.
And that's when I knew that, okay, there's something here that I'm missing. And let me see where this goes. And through that, then I started, finding more and more and more. And now we're here.
Now we're here, and indeed, you did go to India, and there's so much I want to speak to you about. But since we are on the topic of India, let's talk about you being the finale contestant of the Star Plus reality show Dil Hai Hindustani. How was that experience? Please share with us.
Awesome. It was one of the best times I've ever had. I think learning music and then being born with some sort of a talent and then applying this now to the real world is something completely different. And I mean, there are so many people from different countries and different parts of India, and my vocal mentors. Like, it was just it was like infinite learning. You were just learning from everyone. Someone was coming in with something new every day, and you're like, oh, like how is this? So I think that really helped me learn different perspectives of singing, you know? Not only just singing rag or singing bhajan or singing like tumri or like Bollywood, and like it was like how to create your style as a singer.
You were also learning how to find what style suits you best.
Definitely.
And having these pro mentors, right? What can you think that you left with when you went to India you didn't have, but it was something you came back with, was whether it's a lesson, something that you did not know before you went to India, because it was such a life-changing experience.
There's so much, Rose. I think I came back and I was so young. I was 20,
Mhm,
and I came back like a completely different person. And as fulfilling as it was also hard because the average 20-year-old is not going to a reality show and singing. And so you deal with all of this publicity, you deal with all of these people kind of now looking at you and saying, "Oh wow, well this is the guy, that West Indian guy that came went on." It was very pressurizing for me. But one thing I can tell you I learned was music has always been my friend, and I never maybe was the best, the greatest friend to music. But after that, I knew that if there were anyone that were meant to leave my life, music and I were always going to be together. And that I was convinced at that point.
and you were that moment or being in India was solidified that you and music were meant to be together.
Definitely. I've never felt a sense of um anything that I ever did. Like I never felt fulfilled doing it. Music, every single time I'm on a stage, I just lose myself. And I knew, and that's not a feeling. I don't think everyone gets that feeling. I'm sure you can relate. When you do what you love, you're just in this trance almost. And
Comes
I think
naturally. It happens naturally.
it happens naturally. It's not, there's no thought process.
Mhm.
And I would never let that go. And Dil Hindustani in India taught me that. And to always be humble about it too.
Yeah, because I mean, as you said, not a lot of 20-year-olds get to perform in front of Shah Rukh Khan. I'm a huge fan of Shah Rukh Khan. And what was it like performing in front of these stars who we see on TV in person? What was that like?
Oh, it was incredible, Rose. Could never believe that music would have taken me there. You
Mm.
know, singing in front of Kangana Ranaut and like Akshay Kumar and Sunidhi Chauhan ji and all of these people that like you've watched on it. I will never forget going on the set, and I walk in and I see Shekhar Abjiani uh, on the monitor, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, is this real life?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I would grow up what on these very chairs, like sitting with my mom, sitting with my family, watching Vishal Shekhar on Saregama doing like judging, and now I'm about to sing in front of him. Like it I I was it was a very
A surreal moment and full
surreal.
circle moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick question before we take a break. When you performed in Jersey, and they said we have to take you back to India, is that how you went to India to be a part of this show, or it's two different things?
Good question. So I did Saregama in the US and then I did Saregama in India. Now, the first time I did Saregama in India, because it was not a show that allowed for internationals, they didn't air me.
Okay.
But that's when I sang Mere Dholna again for Pritam Da and Sajid Wajid sir and all of and Mika Singh. And then somebody from the production house heard me from that show and
Okay.
said, "Hey, there's a show that I think you may do well in. Would you be interested in auditioning?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." I didn't think it was gonna go through, but I was like, "Okay, whatever." I mean, and that's how Dil Hai Hindustani happened.
Okay, I finally put the pieces together. Thank you so much. Well, don't go anywhere. Please stay here. We have to take a quick break. And ladies and gentlemen, much more with the incredible, talented.
What's up, you guys? I'm Ren
And I'm Kim, and we are here on Liberty Avenue.
at Sybil's Bakery and Restaurant.
So if you're in the Queens area and craving that authentic Guyanese touch,
Look no further than Sybil's.
with nearly 50 years of service in Queens, New York, Sybil's holds the proud distinction of being the first Caribbean food establishment in the borough.
It's a culinary landmark you simply must visit.
Their menu is a celebration of Guyanese flavors, offering a mouth-watering array of dishes from aromatic curries to tasty pepper pot, and not to mention their delicious patties, cheese rolls, and pine tarts.
So whether you're in the mood for dal rice or fried fish, Sybil's has something to satisfy every craving.
Their commitment to quality and authenticity has made them a beloved institution in Queens.
Join the generations of satisfied customers who have made Sybil's their go-to spot for Caribbean flavors. Sybil's, where the flavors of Guyana come to life.
Discover the charm of Portmanok Vineyards, nestled on the scenic North Fork of Long Island. Established in 1983 by the Massoud family, the estate winery spans 85 acres dedicated to producing the finest wines, including New York's original and leading Chenin Blanc. Visit us at Portmanok Vineyards, where you can relax in our beautiful vineyards, savor exquisite wines, and enjoy delicious food. Follow us on Instagram at Portmanok Vineyards for more information. Cheers to great wine and unforgettable moments.
are back with the singer Ben Parag. Hey, Ben.
Hello, Rose.
So before the break, we were talking about your experience in India, and I have to bring up the fact that renowned filmmaker said you have sung this song better than the original singer. What a compliment. What was it like to hear that from someone so renowned?
Rose, I was just crying the entire time,
Oh,
to be
oh, right.
honest.
I remember you told me.
Like we were
Uh-huh.
just talking, and I remember Shekhar, sir, he picked me up, and I'm just there like the whole time, and yeah, I mean it felt like a dream hearing those things. I mean, of course, I was so young as a musician, as a singer, but and I was still working, so I am still working hard, but I was doing so much riyaz, and it just it wasn't that I felt that way, but it was that I felt so grateful that music has taken me here. That's why I was crying, honestly.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, where do you think those emotions come from? Because, I mean, you sing a lot of bhajans and you have some sort of spirituality within you. Now, my next question has to do with spirituality, becoming a person of, like we were talking off air, that in the midst of success, there's also going to be difficult times. How do you deal with difficult times? And is there a song or a mantra that carries you through those difficult times?
You know, such a good question. I'm so glad that you asked because I feel like, especially as an artist, whether you're a singer or a talk show host or a dancer, because you don't exactly fit into society the way that normal people do. You go through these up and down phases.
Yes.
I've gone through them. I've gone through times where, I mean, I've given up. I've gone through times where I made a post about it last year actually, where I was talking about depression and these things. And I don't believe that. Uh, I'll tell you what I do believe. I believe that if we tell ourselves and that we're doing well, and we give ourselves those words of encouragement, that personally takes me a very long way,
Mhm.
you know. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, like why can't you just get all of this done? And then I realize it, and I'm like, listen, you're doing okay. As much as you're doing right now is fine.
Mhm.
Just like going easy on yourself and be not going hard on yourself. I feel like is so important because I wrote about this the other day too. I feel the harder you go on yourself, the harder you come crashing down.
Interesting. Okay.
You know. But if like you allow yourself to make mistakes, or you allow yourself to not have to do everything all at once, the process becomes a little easier.
I think that's a great message to send to your supporters. You have a large community who follows you, and I love the way you connect with your followers through social media. What message would you send to the ones who are in our entertainment world, whether it's a singer, whether it's someone who is pursuing anything to do with entertainment? There's going to be difficult times. How can they grow our thick skin or grow the courage to endure what may come their way?
Well, I think first and foremost, you and I were talking about this before we aired. I think we have so much potential as a people to become big, so much bigger, you know. And I think thick skin comes from accepting to that you don't know it all, and
Mhm,
that you are not at the end of your journey. You're still at the very beginning of a journey, and therefore there's so much to learn. And I think when you don't take things personal because you accept that they're learning curves,
mhm.
uh, you inevitably develop that thick skin.
Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And before we go into the concert, I have a question that's going to run deep a little bit, but if you need time to think about it, let me know. But What does success mean to you as a singer?
Success, okay. Also, all very good questions.
Mm.
Success has changed for me throughout the years. I'll tell you that much. And now, at the phase of life that I'm at, success means contentment. Success means happiness. Success does not mean chasing money, chasing fame, chasing this kind of a thing. I think I don't even think this sort of publicity fame thing is up to us. It's up to the people at the
Mhm.
end of the day. Sorry. And
That's
I think success and it can be such a strenuous thing to be in the entertainment industry because there's so many you there are so many eyes on you, there are so many things happening that sometimes it's hard to keep track of. So I think staying content and happy throughout it all is the definition of success to me. It can change, but right now this is what it honestly means to me.
and beautifully said because I feel like success evolves. It depends on the phase of life you're in, and I love this phase for you, and for you to want success to be contentment and happiness. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Um, I am so excited. I'm going to be seeing you perform on June 7th. It's Heartland, a tribute to tradition. It's happening in Fort Lauderdale. Tell us, what can the audience expect in your performance?
Well, I think it's gonna be right up my alley, if you ask me. I'm all about singing and representing tradition and culture, and um, you can expect some Bollywood, some old Bollywood, some new Bollywood, some semi-classical, um, a bhajan. We'll see. If you guys want a bhajan, we can do a bhajan. I mean, there's so many genres, so many genres. I think it's gonna be such a versatile, musically versatile night. So yeah, that's what you can at least expect from me. I'm looking forward to hearing the other artists.
Well, Ben, I know that you and Savita Singh, who is performing at the concert as well, done a few collabs, a couple of collabs, and I've been reading the comments on YouTube, and the audience want more, more, more. Tell us what it's like
Ah,
working with her.
Savita is the sweetest, sweetest, sweetest girl ever. I always make fun of her. She has this. Me and her have these so many insiders because she's always like speaking in the. I don't know. Like she's always like, Ben, Telma, Telma. If this is sounding bad, if this. She's so humble. Like so humble. Such a good heart and um it's so funny. We've connected. I find that with musicians, like the musicians that I'm friends with, music is the last thing that we talk about.
Mm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just Savita and I connect as people. We can hang out all day, be in a car all day, drive all day, laugh like nobody's business, and then do a video in like 2 hours, 3 hours. I love her so much. She's a sweetheart.
That's so cool to know because you're human, right? When you're working, you work, and when you're bonding, you're having that special time getting to know the person. I also understand this show is going to be the first time both of you are performing together. You've got a couple of hits together. That's going to be exciting.
Yep, yep. It's so funny. I think if you don't know the chemistry that we have through the videos, you're definitely going to see it on stage. Um,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, yeah, she's a sweetheart.
So, Ben, we want you to tempt the audience who haven't gotten tickets yet for this concert. If you can give us a few line or two, I know you got to run because you're a busy artist, but if you can share your talent with us, sing a line or two, and let them buy tickets. We want them to come on out and be mesmerized.
You asked for minute. Hold on. Do you want me to sing an old song? Up to you.
What you know what? I did choose a song, but whatever you're feeling right now, I want you to select a song that you're feeling and you're in the mood to sing.
Okay. I'm normally not decisive about. I'm normally very indecisive about this, but I actually thought of a song. So.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Good.
हमको मिली है आज ये घड़ियां नसीब से जी भर के देख लीजिए हमको करीब से लग जा गले कि फिर ये हसी रात हो न हो शायद फिर से जन्म में मुलाकात हो न हो लग जा गले से से
Oh my God, the incredibly talented Ben Parag.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to hear you again live in concert. I am emceeing, but I'm also going there for my own benefit of hearing such great talent. June 7th, Fort Lauderdale Luxurious Banquet Hall. It is a tribute to tradition. We've got artists from across the globe. Ben flying in from my hometown, New York City. Ben, it's been a pleasure. One day we
Same
got to do
here.
a long sit down interview and get to know much more.
Would
But
love that.
any last words? Can you please tell the audience where they can find you on social media?
Sure. Well, you can find me on Instagram. My name is Ben Par Music. It's the same thing. I'm really not tech savvy. If I look that way, I'm not. Ben Par Music also on TikTok, and Ben Parag is my Facebook. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all at the Luxurious Banquet Hall in Fort Lauderdale at 8 p.m. Be there or be square. And I'm looking forward to doing music and playing and singing and dancing with y'all.
You heard it from Ben Parag himself. Be there or be square. It's Rose Dana Ryan and Ben Parag saying goodbye just for today.